All right, let's talk about India's huge bet on artificial intelligence. We're going to break down the country's national strategy and really dig into the three pillars that are going to make or break its success. We're talking education, skilling, and research.
So here's our game plan. First up, we'll get into why India is going all in on AI. Then we'll look at the key policies that are actually making this happen. After that, we'll see how AI is popping up everywhere, from schools to universities, and explore the massive push to get the workforce skilled up. We'll also tackle the super important topic of responsible AI. And finally, we'll connect all these dots and show you exactly why this matters for your UPSC exams.
So, let's start with the big question. What's really driving India's ambition to become a global AI powerhouse? Well, it boils down to two huge factors: a massive economic opportunity and, well, demographic reality.
I mean, the economic opportunity here is just absolutely staggering. You're looking at a projected growth rate of 25 to 35% every single year all the way through 2027. Now, that's not just regular growth, right? That is a fundamental economic tidal wave, and it means India urgently needs a solid system in place to support it.
But here's the thing. All that incredible economic growth, it all comes down to one thing: people. To actually power this expansion, India needs more than 1.25 million skilled AI professionals by 2027. Think about that. That's more than doubling its current AI talent pool. So you can see why having a clear, urgent strategy for education and skilling isn't just a nice-to-have, it's an absolute necessity.
Okay, so this ambition isn't just wishful thinking. It's actually being driven by a really powerful policy framework. Let's dive into the two foundational pillars that are basically the backbone of India's entire national AI strategy.
First up, we have the National Education Policy, or NEP 2020. You can think of this as the long-term vision for education in the country. What's so important about it is that it openly acknowledges that technologies like AI and big data are complete game changers for the job market. Because of that, it pushes for a big shift towards multidisciplinary education. The whole idea is to get students familiar with AI and data science from an early age, getting them ready for the kinds of jobs that are coming down the pike.
The second major pillar is the India AI mission. Now, if the NEP is the vision, this is the action plan. It was just launched in March 2024 with a massive budget of over 10,000 crore rupees. So, what's its job? Well, it's the main engine for making everything happen. It's all about boosting innovation, helping startups grow, and this is absolutely critical, providing the heavy-duty computing power, that infrastructure that you need for any kind of serious AI development.
Okay, so we've got the policy vision and the action plan. But what does this actually look like on the ground? Let's take a closer look at how AI is being woven into the entire education system, right from the first few years of school all the way up to our top engineering colleges.
Now, when you look at the school level, it's not just one single thing. They're tackling this from multiple angles. AI isn't some niche topic anymore. It's being formally integrated into the curriculum by major players like CBSE and NCERT. For older students, in classes 9 through 12, it's now an elective subject. Plus, you have digital platforms like DIK Eksha that are pushing out AI-based learning modules. And get this, initiatives like Soarke Korean are starting even earlier, building AI readiness right from class 6. And that's for both the students and their teachers.
Then, when we get to higher education, the whole focus shifts. It's less about general awareness and all about creating deep, specialized expertise. So you've got top-tier institutions like the IITs with guidance from AICTE, offering these really advanced courses in the nitty-gritty of AI, things like deep learning, machine learning, and predictive analytics. This is exactly how you build that pipeline of world-class professionals and researchers.
And this next part is really important. The strategy has a huge focus on inclusive education. The message is clear. AI isn't just about making money, it's about being a tool for social good. You see this in action with apps like Readable, which is designed to help kids with dyslexia, or Voice Fusion AI, which supports children with other learning disabilities. It's a powerful statement about using technology to make sure no child is left behind.
Okay, but what about everyone who's already out of school? Well, this strategy isn't just about the formal education system. It also includes these massive government programs designed to upskill and reskill the people who are already in the workforce. The goal is to get everyone ready for an economy that is increasingly driven by AI.
And there are some really big national initiatives making this happen. Take PMKVY 4.0, for example. It provides short-term training in AI and has a special focus on empowering women. Then there's Skills Saksham,
which is a partnership with Microsoft to bring advanced AI training right into ITIs and NSTIs. It's not just the private sector either. Even government officials are getting upskilled on AI through the I Got Karma Yogi digital platform. And we can't forget Future Skills Prime, which is a huge collaboration with NASSCOM. It offers over 500 courses in AI and big data, all of them lined up with the National Skills Qualification Framework.
Okay, so India is building all this amazing AI capability. But at the same time, there's another equally important track running in parallel, making sure all this AI is developed responsibly. And that brings us to the absolutely vital area of research into what's called safe and trusted AI.
And this isn't just lip service. This commitment to responsible AI is serious. We're seeing top-tier institutions taking on the really tough challenges in ethical AI. We're talking about research into really complex fields like machine unlearning, which is basically how do you teach an AI to forget certain information. They're also tackling how to reduce bias in AI systems, developing what's known as explainable AI, so we can actually understand why an AI came to a particular conclusion. And of course, a huge focus on protecting user privacy.
All right, let's bring this all home and look at it specifically through the lens of the UPSC exam. It's really important to separate what you need for prelims versus what you need for mains because they require two different ways of thinking. How you approach this topic is absolutely key for the exam. So for your prelims, it's all about the facts. You need to know the names of the key initiatives: India AI Mission, SOAR, PMKVY 4.0. You need to know the implementing bodies, MSDE, AICTE, NASSCOM, and you've got to have those key figures down, like the India AI budget. But for the mains, that's where you have to switch gears into analysis. You'll need to break down the role of NEP 2020, think about how AI skilling impacts India's demographic dividend, and really be ready to discuss the ethical side of things, the importance of responsible AI, and the challenges ahead.
Okay, let's put this into practice with a sample prelims question. Which of the following initiatives are primarily focused on skilling the workforce in AI? You've got 4 options. So how do you break this down? Well, you'd identify I Got Karma Yogi. That's for government officials who are part of the workforce. Future Skills Prime is for professionals, definitely the workforce. And PMKVY 4.0 is for broad skilling. The trick here is the SOAR initiative. Remember, that one is for school students and teachers. They're in the education system, not the active workforce just yet. That distinction is key.
And now for a typical mains question, something like this. India's national AI strategy is a holistic approach aimed not just at economic growth, but also at inclusive development. Critically analyze. So, to really nail a question like this, you need a solid structure. First, you talk about the economic growth angle, using those market projections we discussed. Then, you have to back up the inclusive development part. This is where you bring in those examples, the AI tools for learning disabilities, the skilling programs for women. But critically analyze means you also have to address the other side, the challenges, like the digital divide or potential job losses. And finally, you suggest a balanced way forward. It's that kind of multi-layered answer that's going to get you the top marks.